lifestyle investing where we invest based off our lifestyle to build that future lifestyle. Mike, myself, we got Jordynn.
Hey,
Jordynn in the house. What's up? Who are you?
This is my daughter, Jordynn.
Yes.
And she's here to talk about her YouTube channel, which is, what's it called? Daddy versus Daughter?
No,
we
haven't made it.
We don't have the name for it yet.
No.
So there is a 3 a.m. slime challenge video that you can see in the link below. We put the link in the comments.
Yep.
So click on that to watch her video. And then Jordynn, say what you want to prove with your video.
That 3 a.m. is no harm.
That there's no harm from a 3 a.m. slime video? That
Yeah.
nothing scary or magic's
They
gonna
just
happen?
stop the camera and do stuff.
Like camera tricks?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see if that's really true on your video.
I'm
Anything
excited.
else that you want to say?
No.
Okay. Say thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll say thank you to you.
Can I still stay here?
No, Vernie and I are going to talk and do our show. You can stay sitting right there if you sit
Yeah,
next to me.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to stay at least sitting here.
Okay.
Okay. That works for us.
Yeah,
Not a problem. Cool.
It's
So
only been 16 seconds.
let's kind of jump into it.
Okay.
So what we're going to talk about in these 20-25 minutes or so is just what we've been doing the last month. You know, it's been a month since we've had a recording.
Yeah.
Since we pushed something
It's been that
out.
long?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's been a while. And
Okay.
so maybe even a little bit longer. It could have been like 5 weeks or so. Yeah. So I think it'd be nice just to have like a recap of like what you've been working on and maybe
Okay.
like what I've been working on.
Okay.
So I'll just kind of like pass the car to you real quick. You
Okay.
can cash it and run with it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, one thing that I've been doing is educating myself. I'm kind of kicking myself a little bit because I got a tip for an industry that's about to blow up.
Got it.
And that's the cannabis industry, the legalization of it in Canada. And so there was like 4 companies that are involved, and one of them Coca-Cola's interested in for bottling, one of them Corona's interested in for bottling, like doing THC drinks and maybe CBD drinks for medical purposes. And so somebody told me that. I sat on the information for a while. Part of that was, and this is something that I'll talk about now a little bit and maybe more when we have my friend on who gave me the tip, is the moral aspect of that. Because just kind of for me, it's a little bit in the same of like owning a bar or a liquor store. Do I really want to profit off of something that I believe is unnecessary and harmful if you use it for recreation? I mean, that's what my personal belief is. So it's kind of this, it's a moral dilemma a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then kind of the funny part of that is thinking that, okay, well, any profits I make is going to make up for all the money I wasted on buying it when I was younger. So I kind of had that dilemma going.
Yeah.
And so I did a bunch of reading. It led me to some other stocks that kind of opened my eyes up a little bit because it just got me in that mode of education. So one thing that I want to talk about right now is what we've learned from stocks, from all our people who invest in stocks, is you have to educate yourself. It's got to be like a job. We're talking about like hours a day because you're going to get paid based off that knowledge and expertise. So just from searching around, I was trying to find market movers and read news about stocks. And so I found out a couple different things. One is that Intel has a back order of chips. In fact, a lot of their processor chips aren't going to be ready until like 2019, maybe April of 2019. So there's another company called AMD. And if you're a gamer, you've heard of AMD because AMD makes processors that are better for like high-speed gaming. Their stock has been going up because AMD. Because Intel is backordered. So the computer systems that were using Intel processors are having to go to AMD instead. So that's just something I learned just by keeping my eyes on the daily investment news, watching. I was kind of doing this like biggest movers list that just shows up on the websites I'm looking at. Like what was the biggest mover for the day? And then that would cause me to go read into it. So that was pretty interesting. It also caused me to find the company that makes the kombucha drinks. Have you heard about that company?
I love
kombucha. You know, the Next Bev. They also make the Zing tea. But it's a big the Umbrella Corporation makes Zing tea and the kombucha drinks.
Okay. I mean, not all kombucha, but like some.
Right, yeah, one of the brands that sells kombucha beverages in stores.
Is it kombucha or is it kombucha?
Is it kombucha?
I thought it was kombucha.
It probably is.
Kombucha.
I think it's an A, but I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's K-A-M.
It is K-A-M.
Yeah, so I'm saying kombucha because that's where I grew up. I pronounce the A as a cam.
Kombucha.
It's like cam.
Kombucha.
So Kombucha.
Thanks, Jordan.
Yeah.
You know
So
best.
they are unveiling in a trade show in a couple weeks a CBD beverage, which is the non drug part of cannabis. You know what I mean? It's the medical part. Please don't do that, sweetie. Please sit back. Actually, you need to sit all the way down. And so that led me to say, okay, I'm going to watch this. And I put it on my watch list. And a couple days later, the stock went up 67%.
What?
I know. And so it gives me that confidence of like, okay, I'm at least going in the right direction of like reading stuff. Which stocks should I watch? But yeah, it went from like $4 a share to $7 a share in a matter of a couple of days.
Dang.
Because that news came out. So it's giving me, it's giving me the insight to trust my instincts and to go, okay, well, if I get this news and I have a feeling about it, I can act on it. So it's just learning that, because what I think about anything that you want to be really good at is you need thousands of hours of practice, a bunch of failures. So every time I lose money or I don't buy when I should have, like on the cannabis stocks, or even right now I'm experiencing a loss of about $100. I put a couple $1,000, about $2,000 into 3 different cannabis stocks that have news of like, hey, because Canada is talking about legalizing marijuana countrywide on October 14th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so these stocks have been steadily going up. I probably would have doubled my money if I would have put it back in August when I got the tip originally. But I just put it in a couple days ago. First day I went up 40. Today, so it was a couple days ago. Yeah. Today it went down 100 for my 3. So I'm down net 60. So I'm learning. I mean, all these things are teaching me because I'm going to be in this thing for the long run. I'm not worried about how do I make money in a month. I'm thinking about 30 years from now, how can I really trust myself when I come to this? And this is the way that I'm learning it. Another thing that's kind of crazy that's been going on in my life lately, and it's kind of a bummer, and it's another lesson that I'm going to need for next year, is that my August and September were really slow at work. Like I had 2 deals fund last month. I had 1 that's funding this week, and that's my only deal for the month. And I went from having 2 of the biggest months I've ever had in my life. I mean, to the 2 biggest months I've ever had in my life were May and July. And then August and September were really low. I mean, it's going to be okay. Yeah. But what it's causing me to do is go, crap, when I was hustling with those 7 clients I had in July, I wasn't doing prospecting. And so lately I've been making my calls every day. Yesterday I went out and visited a bunch of realtors and I've already got stuff coming in. So it's like, there's no commission fairy out there that's just granting me wishes for working hard. I had to be working in the right area. Mm-hmm. Like, the hard work I was doing got my loans to fund so I could get paid, but it wasn't taking care of the next month. Yeah. And so it's a reminder, and also it's a reminder to hustle, because I may have to spend an extra 20 hours next year in those months when I'm slammed with working through my pipeline.
And you're closing those deals. Yeah.
Yeah. So I might have to spend an extra 20 hours a week or whatever just to make sure my September and August are good. And then same thing now, my November, December are going to be great because I'm hustling right now.
Got it.
You know what I mean? So we're going to have a great Christmas. It's going to be cool. I'm going to be fine through the end of the year because right now I'm doing the things that matter. But it just goes to show that even in a busy time, even when I'm prosperous, I still have to keep planting seeds. Mm-hmm. And so it's painful. It's pain to look at my bank account and actually, like, because I had to get some work done around the house, and paying for that and be like, oh crap, you know, like, because I was so prosperous a couple months ago. Yeah. And so it's just shrink. I'm watching it shrink, and I'm like, oh yeah, because I wasn't doing what I had to keep that money flowing in. Yeah. So it's a time of learning, of dipping my toe in the investments, trying to do more in that. And yeah, just back to what works for me, which is making calls, prospecting, doing relationship stuff like networking, you know, being open and putting myself in places where an opportunity can hit, like putting myself in as many opportunities as I can to succeed. Just putting myself out there. Yeah, it's very clear to see that in July I wasn't putting myself out there. Yeah.
Well, I think that's normal, right? When you got things closing and because that's how you get paid.
The paperwork. Yeah,
you get paid on stuff that closes. You don't get paid on initial appointments.
No,
right? And so you're like, oh no, I'm closing. I'm doing the right things. I'm doing the right things, and then you just forget, like, hey. To close deals, you need to start getting those initial appointments, those initial prospecting, those initial calls. And so, I mean, that's just a normal flow, right? It's a normal graph flow. Yeah. You see that all the time.
And I think it's something that if I would have been paying closer attention to my mentors and to the people in my industry who succeed, I would have seen that in those times of the year where they're busy, they just stay an extra hour a day or whatever. They just make it happen to where they don't go home until they've hit their call numbers. Yep. You know, and so That's the thing that I can add. Yeah, I can add it. And I have it. Like, one thing I've proven to myself with the keto diet is that I have discipline in my life.
100%.
And I don't think I really had it before then. But it's just showing me, hey, this is what discipline looks and feels like. And now I can't stray. You know what I mean? Like, I can go try to eat a French fry and my body won't let me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how powerful it is. It's a cool thing.
Nice.
Yeah. And then now back in the gym. So just feeling better, more energy. Like, it's so funny that I forget.
What?
Yeah, it's just kind of a joke. But it's because I'm so used to not eating French fries that if I try to pick one up, I would just have to put it in the garbage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or even if I put it in my mouth like I have before, I end up spitting it into the sink. You know what I mean? It's like, uh-oh, what did I do? Yeah. But what I forget about exercise is that it makes me feel more energy. Well, I'm tired in the morning and I'm like, I don't want to go to the gym. And then I leave and I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. I feel alive. I'm awake. I feel great. Yeah. So it's that feeling of like the things that are hard. Or like, here's the best way I've heard discipline explained to me where I really get it and can experience it right now is everybody can do the things you're supposed to do when it's easy. But it's doing the things that you're supposed to do when it's not. That's what discipline is. You know, when it's easy, yeah, okay, fine. You know, if you have a chef that's making you keto food, that's not really discipline. But if you've got to get up, you've got to make the decisions, you've got to do that. You know, or on a day that you didn't get much sleep the night before and you're not feeling great and you got a bunch of stuff to do at work, that's the day where discipline gets you in the gym where you normally wouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you were going to choose. Yeah.
That's good. And there's a good quote that I like by Jocko, the Navy SEAL guy. He wrote some books.
Oh, yeah, okay. I've heard about him. I haven't heard too much from him.
Yeah, he says, and I love this because this is something that I believe my entire life. I just haven't been able to put it in words, is discipline creates freedom.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and you've told me about that for scheduling my day. Yeah. And it has. Like, even just taking 30% of my day and making sure I'm doing the same things with that 30% gives me the freedom with the other 70.
Yeah, and real freedom.
Right, because before, I was always one step behind with 100% of my time. Yep. Because I always figured I had to do one more thing. But if I put it on paper and say, hey, once I've finished this checklist for the day, this is open. It is. It's a game changer. Damn. Yeah. Okay, so that's me. Love it. What's going on with you? Because, we got about 10 minutes before you got to get out of here. So that's a long 10 minutes. You can take
that's a lot.
10-minute chunk.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
One thing I actually want to talk about is this is a so, and this could pertain to anybody who's trying to buy real estate right now. Is if you first of all, I think it's clear that the real estate right now is overpriced.
Yeah.
I think anyone with half a brain would agree that anything you buy today, I mean, it really is overpriced, right? Like we're really at a peak of market, and regardless if the market stays stagnant or even goes up a little bit, it's still everything's valued very high. Yeah. And so, I'm an opportunist. I still like to see deals out there. I've put I've told you before that that one offer, and then since then I put a couple more offers on other properties and whatnot. They haven't gone through yet. But what I've been looking at, and this could be something that you look at specifically, is I'm looking for residential property that has the ability to subdivide. Okay. Right? Where I could buy it, and it's not going to be a super pretty property, right? It's not going to be super pretty, but it's going to be something that I can move in, fix up a little bit, and then rent out, and then that's going to cover the mortgage, and then you just play the 5 to 10 year game, and then once you get to a position, subdivide and then sell off the lot or build 2 to 3 houses on there. And so it's really so even if you
walk me through that a little bit. Walk me through the whole timeline or the plan.
The plan?
Yeah, or why does it take 5 years?
Why?
Yeah, walk me through that a little bit.
Yeah, and the reason why I would say 5 years is, one, like if you buy it today, it could take like a year just to get permitting, right? Okay. And to do all the I'm not a developer, so I don't know what goes into
grading or whatever to flatten out the land.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's with the option of both leaving the house on there and tearing it down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you could leave the house on there and like permit it all out while the house is still on there, and then take it down and then build 2 houses, which would be like another year. So it'd be like a 2-year process. Okay. But the reason why I would want to wait, a longer time is, one, for the appreciation. Okay. Right. And then two is like, I don't have $500,000 in cash
to build.
Okay. Exactly. And so I would want to wait till I'm in a position where that would make sense. And then I think the last biggest reason why I would want to wait is a lot of these properties that I'm looking at, they're not in the greatest. they're in areas with potential. And
Like,
so today,
yeah.
like if we were to build
Dude, that's a
today
good point.
and sell in like 1 or 2 years,
Yeah.
you probably still make money, but if I wait that
Right.
longer time,
the neighborhood's going to get better.
never get better.
Yeah, they're going to put
and then-
little like strip malls around there, community centers. Developers are going to be building brand new houses that are going to double the value of the average sales price. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like move into a neighborhood where everything's selling for $330, and every house in this new development's $650. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
because there was a land developer, or not a land developer, but basically a guy who I knew who bought rental properties, and his goal, one of his things, was to buy where he knew that there were permits for big developments. So he'd turn them into a rental, and then wait until they're right across the street from houses that are double it, and it's
Yeah.
automatically going to make that house.
Just like that.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's especially if you're able to like buy it at like $250,000 to $300,000 and then rent it for like $1,800.
Yeah.
In the
Cover the
short term.
mortgage.
Yeah, you're not gonna make any money in the short term.
You may
But-
even lose a couple hundred a month.
Yeah, it's fine, which is totally fine.
Yep.
A couple
Because
grand
the
a year,
equity.
it's not a big deal. And then you get cheap lending,
Right.
You get 5% rate. You don't have to put too much money into it. You don't have to do too much repairs into it. So like the initial investment's not even that much.
Right.
And then you still get your tax advantages in that whole sort of thing. So it's just like it's like a no brainer in my decision.
Yeah, it's just finding the right property.
Yeah, which is tough.
Daddy.
Yeah.
It's still like tough to find stuff that actually works because again these are like long term plays, and so like especially being in a position like it's nice putting yourself in Jordynn. It's nice putting yourself in situations where you don't need to make any money for like the next or any money on these deals for like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Right, because then you could really focus on there and then really have that long year play.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. Yeah, and it's the Warren Buffett strategy. He's never looking for the quick turnaround.
No.
And that's how you make the most money. If we think about the extremely wealthy are thinking about generations. 30 years from now, making money.
Exactly.
Yeah. The companies that hold on to 30 years
I'll be right
home run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
They're not worried about the quick profit.
No.
My company's worried about the quick profit.
They are.
Yeah, because we sell immediately for 3 to 6% on the back end. Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But the companies who are buying them from us are worried about the long term. They're worried about collecting the whole 30-year note.
Mm-hmm.
They're cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different approach, different
Yeah.
styles and whatnot. But yeah, that's like been my main focus. The other thing is, I put a lot of money in a Bank of America stock. I mean, I've been day trading it for like quite a few years, but I just like tripled my the amount that I invested in Bank of America just because. Well, the Fed raised the rates today, as you know, but then also the earnings are going to be coming out.
Hey, Jordan, that's not okay.
They're going to be coming out in 4 weeks, 3 weeks.
Know what is?
The earnings for Bank of America.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So mid-October is when all the financial stocks come out, and so then I just have another belief that they're just going to like destroy it.
Yeah.
And right now, I think they're valued pretty low. So I think it's going to go up like 5, 6, 7% within the next month.
What's Bank of America stock going for right now?
It's like $30 50 cents.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I remember when I first started B of A, I put all my 401k into there, and it did really well because I think I bought it at 6 and it went up to 12 in a couple years. Yeah, but it was 6 when I first started working there, which is crazy. Yeah,
I know. I still think there's so much growth.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you look at the history of Bank of America over the last 20 years, I'm sure it's been over 100.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. I think I
like it.
Hopefully, I can make a quick, easy, 3, 4, 5 grand off of that. Not bad. For a day's work.
Yeah, I like it, and I like thinking about long-term stuff.
Yeah.
Like every morning when I'm doing some meditations and looking into my future, I'm seeing long-term stuff. I'm seeing like my retirement. I'm seeing like a beach house I want to own, turning this house into a rental. And by the way, we're in my house right now. Yeah, because Vernie's old house is now a rental. And so I just like looking in the future and knowing that I don't need to freak out about short gains and losses. I need to keep my eye on the long term because that's how I'm ultimately going to win.
Oh yeah.
Because even if I just stay steady and keep putting my money in the right place, like my 401k and investments when I can, just the market itself is going to do what it has to do.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everything, just the value of the dollar going down is going to make my money worth more. So it's just, it's cool to be stable and secure and to have, I mean, it's taken me a couple of years to get to this point, but to have enough to where I don't have to freak out.
Yeah.
Like even when times have been tough, I've been saving. You know what I mean? I've been saving because I was going to try to buy a car, but I'm just putting that on hold for a couple months. And so it ended up being a buffer so I can breathe. You know, I don't have to freak out and go, oh my gosh, I'm broke. So this is the first time in ever that I've ever had this kind of freedom. And it's from just doing the things that I know I'm supposed to do. And then even when I don't, I can bounce back quick enough and go, oh crap, this is about to turn bad if I go another couple months like this.
Discipline,
yeah,
baby.
Yeah.
Discipline.
Yeah. I guess that's the word of the day.
That's the word of the day,
Yeah.
word of the night, word of the week, word of the month.
Yeah.
I like it. Discipline. God. Anything else you wanna share? I mean, that's pretty much all I got right now.
Jordan, you want to say anything else?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Okay, are you sad? Are you mad?
She's
Might be a little tired.
We're all
No.
tired.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Not tired.
Do you want to say goodbye? We're about to turn it off.
Bye.
You can see Jordan's video. Just click on the link in the comments, and it'll be me and her making a slime 3 a.m. slime challenge. Okay.
Well, there you go, guys. We're gonna wrap it up. That's been our quick last month recap.
20 minutes.
20 minutes. 21 minutes.
No,
So excited
Almost.
as we continue, guys.
20.